Our final question comes to us by email from Charles, who writes, Mr. Mayor, I manage several residential properties in the Gloucester County area, 2 of which are located in your municipality. I understand that I am required to formally register my rental properties with the appropriate authorities. Please advise me of the due process or provide me with the correct contact information so I may expedite this matter accordingly. Thank you, Charles. Sure, Charles, it's easy. In accordance with Local Ordinance number 185-2, all you have to do is register your rental property or properties by filling out a landlord registration form. This paperwork is available through the Housing Department located in the construction office of the municipal building. Or you can simply download the registration from our website. From the home page, select Township Services and click on Housing. Scroll down the page to the online forms portion and select from the list of all necessary housing forms. The annual $50 registration fee covers up to 4 properties or units. I believe you said you currently have 2. At the same time, you're also required to have an annual inspection to receive your certificate of occupancy. All rental properties must be inspected annually or with every tenant change. There's also a $50 fee for inspection. After all inspections and forms are completed, certificates will be issued. Charles, rental registration and inspections benefit both the landlord and the tenant. Unfortunately, there are some tenants who do not keep up their properties, and there are some landlords who do not always service their tenants' needs. This paperwork can protect both parties in the event of a dispute. By the same token, if this ordinance is violated, a fine can be implemented and your CO, your certificate of occupancy, can be rescinded, which means no one can move in, and that's not good for anyone. Also, Charles, if you suspect that a property in your neighborhood may be rented but not registered, feel free to notify the Housing Department and your inquiry will be kept confidential. To contact the Housing Department regarding rental property registration, certificates of occupancy, or any other housing-related questions, call their offices at 589-0520 and hit extension 245. The construction and housing staff are very knowledgeable and accommodating. When it comes to residents' requests, they never leave anyone out in the cold. Speaking of which, as I segue to our final segment, the mercury has been dropping, and baby, it's cold outside. So this month, we asked residents, how cold is it? We got some pretty chilly answers, but I'm sure you'll get a chuckle out of them. So until next month, stay warm, and I'll see you around town.
You're asking me a comment on the weather conditions we had today?
It's a cold day today, but yesterday was even colder.
It was so cold that even the geese had goosebumps. It was so cold, even the polar bears were buying fur coats.
And it kind of disproves the theory about global warming.
It's so cold, I had to bundle up my little snow buddy here.
So cold, I have my fur line, you know what on, and it's helping a lot, but other parts of me are still, the buns are hurting a little, you know.
It's pretty cold out here today.
I would like for it to snow so school could be canceled, and I think it's cold enough for it to snow.
I think it just has to do with the jet stream.
It was so cold when I turned on the shower, I got hail instead of water. It was so cold that a snowman had to knock on the door and ask to sleep on the couch.
Okay, it's so cold out here, the lawyers have their hands in their own pockets.
It's getting so cold out, I can't afford my tax. Me and my wife will be out in the cold pretty soon. And it's getting cold out. The weather is changing.
Oh, but it's cold outside.
Cold enough for that Starbucks to be ready in Washington Township so I can get my perk for the winter. My favorite is the vanilla caramel double shot caramel latte macchiato.
Actually, I wish I was in Disney World instead of being here.
It's a lot colder now than it was in Cancun last week. It was 85 degrees last week, and I came home to 5 below zero.
Jet stream dips down, it brings cold weather. Jet stream goes higher, it brings on warm weather.
It's not cold enough. There's no snow, and I like snowmobiling, so Tuesday I'm going to where there's a lot of snow and it's cold.
It's so cold my iPod won't play. It was so cold that our table settings included a knife, fork, spoon, and a shovel.
It's so cold out that I ate my soup with a popsicle stick.
It was so cold that when we put frozen pizza in the oven for 25 minutes, we had frozen pizza.
People are concerned about global warming.
It was so cold that I went ice fishing in my bathtub, It was so cold that my shower froze to the ground.
Back in the 50s, we had a concern about the Earth moving too far away from the sun.
It's so cold out that the pigs are starting to freeze.
It was so cold that when we milked the cows, we got ice cream.
It's just nature taking its course.
This program has been proudly sponsored by Turnersville Auto Mall, Acura, BMW, Chevrolet, Honda, Hyundai, Hummer, Nissan, Scion, and Toyota of Turnersville.